Hello everybody and welcome back to the Realistic Formula Championship, Round 5, here at the birthplace of Formula 1, Silverstone circuit, where it started all the way back in May in 1950, and where it looks quite gloomy today, but I'm sure that's not going to affect too much the action, as we've already had 4 thrilling rounds, and we have a clear championship leader in Malakai, but absolute chaos in the drive market going into this round here at Silverstone, a 3.66 mile circuit, speeds, very high speed circuit here, 2 DRS zones along those 18 turns, and some plenty of racing action to be had out there today. And these are the tyre compounds for tonight's race. It's the hardest tyres once again in the Pirelli range. C3 the soft, C2 the medium, C1 the hard. Softs and mediums, definitely the preferred tyres. Hard tyres probably won't be used too much. But we will see what happens as qualifying has just begun out there. So let's just get straight into this. So here we go, qualifying. Well, already drivers getting out there. Just put some little things on the screen. I mean, some people are on the different tyres. There we go. Okay. So, make sure everything's connected. Hope. Oh, maybe not. Restart the program. Well, and as we're just starting qualifying, we may as well have a little look at the championship standings so far. So there we go, see 26-point championship lead. New teams for plenty of drivers, including 2nd and 4th in the championship. Harley going to that dominant McLaren car. Daniel Lorente trading Mercedes for the Milton Keynes based team in Red Bull, looking to get this championship back on track. We'll see how he gets on in his new team. We'll see how a lot of them get on in their new teams. I think I need to quickly change my telemetry a second. Yeah. Always changes, there we go. Okay. Now we can actually see some lap times, which is nice. And I will see if I can squeeze in another screen quickly, so I can control some other things. That should be okay. Alright, ready to go. Have we got who is the first driver on a lap? Our web looks to be going well. Harv setting the fastest lap, Daniel Lorente on the mediums, 2nd place. Quite a lot of traffic, of course, in Q1. Web getting towards the final chicane. There seems to be a weird graphic in the middle of the map. Web crosses the line, 3rd place. And the championship leader, by the way, is joining partway through the session. I'll just turn it off. There we go. Statlev, the new driver, crosses the line, goes quickest. Harley, new team, quite a way off at this point. go. Now I should be able to get those up. And I think we'll lose. Going through the last chicane now. Ran a bit wide there, but kept it within track limits. Crosses the line. 9th place on the softs. Not moving team, staying with the same team. Pastry in the Williams. Crossing the line now. Pastry. New team. 8th place. No. But Dilbast, is he on a lap? No, he's letting by the Aston Martin. As lol, yep, lol is currently improving on this second lap. So the first lap, just getting the tyres within that window, and now able to push it a bit more. Daniel Lorente already deciding that his lap time is good enough for Q2. Lol, across the line and into 7th place. So good lap out there. Charlotte Perkins currently through Maggots, Beckett's and now Chapel. And now onto the Hanger Straight. 104.1 sector split. As she now meets Stowe Corner, turn 15. And into the last chicane to get a first lap time on the board. And it's 12th place. Delbast might be going again. Seems like it might be. Getting a lot of inside curb, but not able to set a lap. Doctor into Village. A little bit wobbly as he's now makes his way onto the Wellington Straight. Some weird bumps as well on this straight for some reason. Into Brooklands, throwing the car in, drifting. And now wait to get on the power. There is the Sauber. Charlotte Perkins getting out the way on the outside. Harv retiring in this Q1 session in the pits. This is a brilliant corner cops. Flat out. And now we'll ride on board through one of the most thrilling sections. Maggots, Beckett's, keep it flat. A little bit wide in Chapel. Not gonna do his lap time the best, but he'll keep the car now in a straight line. Taking the best line down the straight into Stowe. Washing a bit wide, but you want to use all of the track. And so far this lap has been okay, but another wobble. Quite a lot of drifting, to be fair, throughout that lap. And that is why 16th place is his. Who else is currently out there? Just got drivers exiting the pits. I think the Haas of Will Lose goes by on an out lap. As Will Lose just warming up those tyres. Nobody's actually, it looks like Danny potentially actually in the Mercedes up in the first sector. So we'll see what Unknown can do. such high speed through here. Just push it to track limits. And now down the hangar straight once again. Purple, according to that graphic in the bottom right. And this looks like it should be enough to be safe, especially in Q1. As Unknown looks to meet final couple of apexes. And charges for the line, careful of that curve. And improves time, but not position. But that should be more than enough now for Q2. We see Nagrom potentially out there on his second debut in this league. Was a former driver. Crosses the line and into 12th, so good effort. Will lose now up as well. Towards Cops. Got the Williams in front. Williams of Pastry it must be. Pastry also on a lap, so won't get in each other's way, you'd hope. Behind there is the V-Carb as well. And will lose now into Stowe. Braking now. Last real braking point. Now just feather the throttle and pin it now. And we'll lose into 9th. So another good improvement. But those drivers who've retired look plenty safe at this point. And there's Daniel in the Ferrari. I think that's Daniel Hoyland. With the name Bombardino Crocodilo, setting the fastest first sector on his first flying laps. And also in the middle, doing a decent middle sector. Stowe carrying good speed. And then finding the throttle onto the Lewis Hamilton straight. And going into 4th place. 4.5 tenths off. So now Sunshine improving. Bit of a train behind though, which is interesting. Train. There's just going to be an overtake here into Stowe. And qualifying. They're racing to get back to the pits. And Charlotte Perkins starts another lap. Harley in the McLaren. No, Harley was up, but is in the pits now. Should be safe. The lap time, not that much safe, but there's a lot of traffic between Harley and the elimination zone, but wouldn't be too comfortable with that current effort. Now, Charlotte Perkins just warming up the tyres again. Doctor improving, I want to say. Doctor the Cops. We'll see how he fares this time. Any drifting, keeps it flat. Downshift, little lift, brake and turn. It's a little bit wide, but keeps it going and is 4 tenths up on his previous best in the middle sector. And Stowe, very aggressive steering. Braking for the last time, a little bit unsteady. And now flat to the floor. The Doctor into 10th. So beating a few of those drivers in the pit lane, but is Doctor going to get another effort at this point? Probably not. Maybe. Cars streaming out the pits. And We'll rejoin Charlotte Perkins, who's pitted. Doctor obviously was up. Nobody, a lot of drivers now retiring. Those drivers kind of 127.3 seem to think they're okay. But then it's a very tight midfield from there. Harley, Lol, Kai, Doctor, Will Lose, Sunshine, Jonathan, Pastry, very tight. And even down to 17th, 7th to 17th, extremely tight grid. Will Lose looks to be racing Sunshine on the outlap. They both look to progress. Sunshine now is freed. And we'll see what Sunshine can do. Into village, and now through the loop. Now using that battery, obviously got to decide when you want to use it. And now down the Wellington Straight, over the bumps into Brooklands. Try and take a bit of a deep line, misses the apex a little bit on the inside there. Now Lovefield a bit wide almost. Like, I would say based on the ideal line, and now should try and use a bit of the inside there, and now into Cops should be flat. Again a little bit wide, but up so far on his current time. Now fifth gear, bit of a bit deep into there. Doctor retiring back in the pits. Lol also retiring. We keep on board with Sunshine into Stowe. Sixth gear. Very good running out wide there to maximise the track and the lap time. Again misses the apex slightly. In Vale. And now crosses the line and doesn't improve, I don't think, there. As who else is crossing the line? Will Lose in 12th, has pitted. As Dilbast across the line, can't get the time. Pastry into 8th place. Pastry looks to have made it. Nagrom is out as Kai makes his way around Stowe. Kai should be safe at this point, but driver's still on a lap. He'll still want to finish this. Kai, Hale, and now Club across the line and moves into 6th. The two Saubers of Destro and Charlotte Perkins still looking to push and find lap time, and Destro is a few tenths up in these first two sectors. This is going to be tight. Can Destro make the top 15 in Q1? Destro only moves ahead of his teammate. But here is his teammate, Charlotte Perkins. Charlotte Perkins needs to find about a tenth and a half to make it into Q2. And does. Charlotte Perkins into the second part of qualifying. Sunshine going again. Sunshine has run out of fuel. And I think that is it. Sunshine scrapes through in 15th. And toddles across the line. But that is it for the first part of qualifying, where we see Haas, Sauber, Racing Bulls, and the Alpine there of Jonathan for very tight, and very tight and very close, but in the end drivers had it quite comfortably. Some of them didn't. Some of them had to get through right at the last, and Yeah, we'll be seeing Sunshine in Q2. Charlotte Perkins making it through right at the end as well. So see how it goes in the second part. Well, welcome back to qualifying. An exciting Q1 session, but the drivers right back out there for Q2, and some of them again on the medium tyres, and quite a lot of traffic, quite a big queue, but we're riding once again on board with Sunshine, who barely but did get through into this second part, and now through Woodcut. There is our web, potentially on the inside. One of the Ferraris, that's for sure. And Sunshine has invalidated. So we'll ride on board with Daniel Lorente instead. Driver looking to get back into the championship fight. 43 points behind at this moment. So very much looking to positive momentum. Daniel Lorente. Marshall Kane. Now, crosses the line. So 126.8. Harley on the softer compound, about 4/10 off as Harv beats Daniel Lorente's time. But obviously on that better compound, Kai, who did a good lap at the end of Q1, crosses the line to go about 6/7 off the quickest time in the Alpine. Lol crosses the line there. Statlev once again with the benchmark time, the 126.3. There's a Ferrari starting a lap. Doctor looks to be finishing a lap here. Doctor into 10th. So the slowest time so far. Obviously Sunshine invalidating that lap time. And we'll lose. Also invalidating. Potentially, or maybe just going again now, but certainly pushing on this lap, but has the Ferrari right in front. Ferrari also on a lap, so this could work out in terms of the slipstream. But into Cops, lack of downforce, probably not. This game, you're not really going to lose downforce from following too much. You'll gain it all back in the straight when you get the slipstream. Yellow flag, there's looks like Mercedes letting by cars. Yep, Mercedes into the advertising board almost. And now the two Ferraris and the Haas will lose, look to finish their first laps in Q2. So we'll see as firstly R-Web will cross the line, shortly followed by Will Lose. R-Web 7th, Will Lose 2/10 off. What about Daniel Hoyland, who's going to cross the line now and go into the top 3? So once again, the driver who's only competed in 2 races but has already propelled himself above Daniel Lorente, who's done all of the races, has once again done a decent lap. So Sunshine and Riley still need laps out there. Statlev in the pits once again after doing an excellent first lap, that's for sure. And now Kai looks to have even been improving on this lap, on another lap on the same set of tyres. So Kai into Cops, and now Maggots Beckett's Chapel Complex. Over the curbs. Chapel, keep it within track limits. Hang a straight. Looking to set up Stowe here. Brake in quite late, carry the speed. And now Vale a little bit wide on the exit, but will make it for the line and does get an improvement by about 1/10 of a second, so fair enough. Sunshine on an outlap, looking to find that little bit of consistency. It's not been the best season for him, but he can certainly turn it around, that's for sure. That's the beauty of racing. There's always a chance to turn it around. Well then, Sunshine just warming the tyres up. Not having really completed laps at the bottom, but Riley will need to find time. His first race for Aston Martin, moving from the Alpine team and moving to the team based right here in Silverstone. And with their new factory and new wind tunnel, Aston Martin should be moving forward, but we'll see how that goes. Sunshine now. Sunshine through Aintree, 5. The Wellington Straight once again, looking to keep it within track limits. I believe it was Cop's Corner last time where he did run over the track limits. Very big corner cut, but within perfectly legal. Through Brooklands, and now once again through Woodcut and on the old pit straight where they used to go lights out from, but obviously they moved that now once again into Cops, and this time within track limits. And now looking to feed the car through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. See what the second sector split is saying. 7.5 tenths down on Statlev, I believe that is. Who hasn't got telemetry turned on, or names turned on telemetry, so it says player. but we know that it should be comparing to the fastest. Sunshine into Vale again, and now club corner to the line and moves into the top 10, which is exactly what was required. And he will now have time to go back to the pits, get a new set of tyres on, and give it his all to make the top 10 shootout. No drivers on an out lap. Looks like LOL is improving currently by about 4/10. There is Arweb just warming up his tyres. And now LOL feeds it through Stowe. And now Vale in club, and can he will lose out of the top 10? Yes, he can. Sunshine moves down to 12th, and LOL in the Aston Martin brilliantly into 2nd. That was absolutely excellent. So we look to see if anybody else is on the lap. It doesn't seem like at this point. They're just waiting to start their lap or waiting to leave the pits. It's Pastry going towards Baggett's and Beckett's now. Seems to have caused the yellow flag. I don't know if he's run out of fuel or probably has run out of fuel. So there we go. Our web is improving now, as he is going to potentially encounter Pastry. Pastry should make it back to the pits first. Our web in the middle sector is 4/10 up on his current best time, so he's looking good to challenge those on roughly a 26.8. Surely if he can get a little bit more time in the last sector, you'd think through these, it's just a slow section to finish the lap. Arweb makes it to the line and sets a 26.9, so just behind that gaggle of a couple of drivers. Riley now out there, first driver on an out lap, which is what he wants to do, just to give him the chance to have a free track, warm up his tyres, and hopefully for his sake make it to the top 10. I'm just checking. He's just weaving at high speed. That's what you want to do to get the temperature on F124. Not very much wear, of course, new tyres, and you want to have that temperature. You don't mind if you have a couple of percent of wear, if you can get the temperature. So, down the back straight. Potential thing going on there between Kai and Doctor. I don't know exactly what that was about, but yellow flag as there is Will Lewis as well, slowing a bit, but Riley now begins what will probably be his last lap in qualifying. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, and really needs a great performance here, because otherwise he is gone in his opening race for Aston Martin. So now down to the Wellington Straight, using a little bit of battery, as you see from many of the drivers, and about just over a tenth and a half down on the quickest lap, so that is good for sector pace from Riley, who hasn't set a lap time, so won't have a delta at this point, or might actually have a delta, because an invalid lap potentially there was. And now Cobb's downshift, but keeps it flat still. Now about 50% ERS as Beckett, and now Chapel, double downshift into 5th. DRS open down the hanger straight as Riley 4/10 down on the quickest, but that is good enough if he can just keep this going to get into the top 10 and be there when it counts. Riley into club corner now and wrestling a bit at the steering, but crosses the line and into 8th place. Doctor is the next one on a lap. Doctor now needing a lot of time to make it 1.3 seconds the gap to Kai, but Doctor will still have hope. And again sliding as we saw in Q1, improves by about 3/10 but doesn't get the lap time, will lose, closely followed by Kai, will lose into 11th. Kai moves up to 8th, and it looks like Sunshine still improving. Sunshine about 2.5 tenths up. Sunshine, only into 11th. And that will be it for the drivers who can escape relegation from qualifying. And Harley is the last one to cross the line. Harley moved into 5th. And that is how the second part of qualifying finishes. So we lose Doctor in the Williams, Charlotte Perkins in the Sauber, Pastry will lose, and Sunshine, who misses out on Q3. A good effort, but just didn't quite have the pace in the car, and it wasn't quite happy with the circuit, but not too bad. Daniel Lorente making it through on the mediums, the only one to do so. Statlev, again, the quickest driver. Welcome back to qualifying here at Silverstone in the Realistic Formula Championship, round 5, and still, well, we don't have the championship leader, of course, because he's not in this at this point, but championship leader currently struggling to get into this session, it seems, but he was going to join partway through qualifying, but obviously after Q1 then you're going to just be starting at the back. He does want to make it in, otherwise those behind, including Harley, will have a great opportunity to usurp. Well, Harley I believe is 26 points behind, but obviously Malakai with more wins, even if Harley takes the win today. So R-Web starting his first Q3 run in that Ferrari, littered with HP logos, but Oh, I won't care about that, as he'll care about the pace of it, which has very good top speed, that Ferrari. A little bit of a wobble on the exit, but will still make his way, taking a different line down the straight to try and avoid the bumps. And now sets 27.6, which already has been beaten by about a tenth and a half by Daniel Lorente out there, but we'll see what it amounts to over the course of a lap. The first driver on a lap, I believe, is Kai, just ahead, so we'll get Kai's lap in first. But Webb carrying speed now through his Beckett and Chapel. Aggressive driving, trying to get as much, but that aggression leads to invalidation for Webb. So now we will see what Kai's doing, because Kai has also invalidated out there. Daniel Lorente has not invalidated. We might finally see someone finish a lap. Daniel Lorente closely followed by the McLaren behind. Harley also on a lap, so we'll get a quick fire double here. Daniel Lorente, 25.9, quickest lap we've seen. Harley, about 7 tenths off in second place, as Harv is now going towards Vale again. Harv obviously moving into Mercedes for this round after Daniel Lorente went to Red Bull. Harley went to McLaren. Harv ahead of the driver who he technically replaced, and behind there we also saw Unknown cross the line. Riley has crossed the line now as well. Lol has, I want to say, started a lap now from Lol. No, Lol, I think Lol might have invalidated the first lap, actually. Statlev across the line and about 3 tenths off Daniel Lorente. His quickest lap so far of qualifying, but it's not quite enough. Lol moving through the gears, seems to be on a push lap, so whatever I thought seems not to be true, and we'll see him through Cops now. I'll keep it flat through Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel. Now DRS engaged. Hanger straight. Prepare stow. A little bit wide, but just about keeps it within track limits. And now towards Vale again for Lol. Brunel. And there is the championship leader joining at the bottom of the screen as Lol into 6th. Once again carrying pretty impressive form so far in this first race for Aston Martin as the main driver. Is what we've seen currently. Daniel Lorente, the best driver in qualifying this season, once again topping the session so far, but everything that matters is you top it at the end of the session, and that will be what he's more concerned about. So Daniel Hoyland now on a lap and setting a good first sector, 27.4. Now just be patient through Lovefield, through Woodcut, Old Pit Straight, then minus Cops. Is very well done from Daniel Hoyland, but 2 tenths off Daniel in the first 2 sectors for the Ferrari. Webb also out there after invalidating on the first lap in Mount Beckett. Daniel Hoyland in the Ferrari, looking to get into that top 4 probably is his goal for this first lap. Just misses out on it. Behind Unknown. Behind Danny. And in 9th, Arweb. Setting good sector times as well. Matching his teammate in the first sector. About a 10th down in the middle sector on his teammate. But this is certainly decent pace for the driver that moved from being a Red Bull reserve. Moved to Haas, but seems to be racing for Ferrari. And into 6th. So it's a mix between Red Bull, Mercedes for the first 2 rows. 3rd row is all Ferrari. 4th row, McLaren and Aston Martin. And the 5th row, Aston Martin and Alpine. But I'm sure Kai can be pushing on still and will not be accepting 10th place. Certainly a track where there can be racing had, but also a track where DRS trains can form. And ERS management is key, but you should regenerate quite a lot considering the amount of straights you got here. And plenty of room just to knock that ERS into none. First driver to go back out is Kai. We also see Martin of Riley just in the background there, leaving the pits. So Daniel Lorente, the driver who had big aspirations of winning this championship going into the season, 43 points behind at the moment, championship leader at the back of the grid, pole position. This has got to be the best opportunity he's going to get to actually gain some points in this championship battle. So we will see what happens, because Malakai will have to fight his way through a lot of cars, but has also got supreme pace. So in that McLaren, which is a very quick car around this circuit. Harley about 7/10 off the provisional pole time, but he's not going to be too worried because he knows his race pace is always stronger normally than his qualifying pace. Kai then on his last lap in qualifying, maybe, unless he's got enough fuel if he watches this one. Turn 1 into Village. A lot of traffic ahead. This is not going to be ideal, but they should all yield when he arrives. And now through the loop, through Aintree, Wellington Straight, once again, for probably the last time in anger in this qualifying session. Brooklands, keep it as tight as you can, try and open up the entry for Luffield, get on the power as soon as you can. You can see different lines through that corner woodcut. Drivers warming their tyres in front. But Kai still pushing on, taking a lot of curb in cops. Downshifting, upshifting, Maggots and Beckett's. Double downshift into Chapel. DRS now onto the hanger straight, gets a bit of a tow, but those two cars not willing to really, they're just wanting to get out of the way. Kai now to stow a bit deep, but it can work. Oh, taking some grass from Kai. Kai making a bit of a mistake and he's pushing to the line, and it is 10th place for Kai, who will not have the resources to go once again on another lap. Riley has invalidated out there. We have the Mercedes drivers pushing on at the head of the field in Q3. Half ahead of Danny, and half ahead of Danny on track, ahead of Danny in the current times. Kai tiring, of course, after That bit of a struggle in the last sector, but he can still fight back. Harv into Vale for the last time in this qualifying session, looking to find an improvement. Currently a little bit down in both sectors, and that is a wild moment in Vale, in club corner, sorry, as Unknown comes straight through the yellow flags and takes third place. And that was not ideal preparation for the last corner for Danny, but he's currently a Mercedes 2-3, as Lol looking to change that. Not currently finding the pace to challenge the top 5, but is almost into the top 5 as Daniel Lorente crosses the line and cannot improve his lap time. We've got Daniel Hoyland also out there trying to find the lap, pushing it right to the end. Daniel Hoyland stays in 5th. And the Statler moved into 2nd right at the end of that session. And Harley right behind as well into 3rd. So there is your qualifying order. Daniel Lorente doesn't improve on the final lap, still takes pole position. It's a Red Bull front row lockout. And in Daniel Lorente's first race for his new team, he's hit the front of the field once again. It's a very tight field though. Harley once again there, just showing his pace right at the end. Into 3rd, good position for McLaren behind the 2 Red Bulls. Mercedes 4 and 5, Ferrari 6, Aston Martin 7 and 9, Ferrari 6 and 8, Kai in the Alpine in 10th, and now we move to the race. There should be a one-stop strategy, soft to medium or medium to soft. Obviously safety cars can be deployed, but I'm not too sure where safety cars will happen. I mean, there could be contact, could be just drivers crashing into the wall on purpose, as we've already seen this season, which is not what we want to see, but the stewards look on, we all look on, as the drivers pick their fuel strategies, pick their tyre strategies, make any last minute setup adjustments which they can do, right, front wing or differential, tyre pressure, but nothing else. Those beeps mean that we're going to be going racing very shortly. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights at Silverstone. It's lights out and away we go. And Daniel Lorente does get away well. Statlev on the inside though is going to dive on the soft tyres and take the lead. Harley's in 3rd, Harv and Unknown in 4 and 5 as down the inside goes Harv on Harley, and he's going to try and go around the outside through loop. And has Harv got the position? Statlev leads the British Grand Prix on the first lap from Daniel Lorente. Harv and Harley go wheel to wheel on the Wellington Straight. Harv around the outside, they make contact. There is Daniel Hoyland around the outside on Unknown. And Harley still in 3rd. Positions moving back there. R-Web up into 7th place. And on the inside, looking into Cops is Harv, but they all make their way through cleanly so far. Who Kid already up to 14th place and is now challenging Charlotte Perkins into Maggots and Beckett and has got the position. Already 7 places gained for the championship leader on the first lap of this Grand Prix. Lol, close. And now Unknown and Daniel Hoyland go wheel to wheel. Harv also trying around the outside, tries the swap. Can't quite make it. Sunshine And Will Lose going wheel to wheel in the background. Sunshine on the inside. They bang wheels. Sunshine on the inside still. And now Who Kid on the inside takes them both. Takes them both in the last corner on the Hamilton straight there. Who Kid's already up 9 positions on the first lap. And now suddenly sets his sights as down the inside goes Sunshine into Village. Gets it done and Will Lose back in the inside into the loop. There's contact with Nagrom and Charlotte Perkins in the background. As it looks like Nagrom was ghosted. And Nagrom still there. As down the inside goes Pastry. Pastry looking to make the move. Around the outside, Pastry goes on the Sauber. And Pastry gets the move done. Wow. So, Statlev continues to lead the British Grand Prix on the soft tyres though. Daniel Lorente on the mediums. And Who Kid with a brilliant start. Just what the championship leader wanted. Starting from the very back and already into 11th place, the position he started the Bahrain Grand Prix, which he would go on to finish on the podium. The championship leader with a 26-point championship lead, as Sunshine has now lost 2 positions and Sunshine almost runs into the back of Pastry. Jonathan and Doctor battling as well, and there's contact there between Nagrom and there is Doctor once again finding wheel spin, and Destro and also involved Dilbast a bit detached as Jonathan goes into turn 1 ahead. Oh, and there's contact between Doctor and Doctor falling down now. And now Jonathan being challenged by Destro as well. Destro on the soft tyres into the loop and Aintree. And there's contact between Jonathan and Destro who've spun each other out. Destro's off on the Wellington Straight, on the grass, and now that is going to cause him to lose a lot of time. Nagrom, as well as Charlotte Perkins, is now spun around at Luffield. So Sauber having a terrible lap and wheel to wheel into Copse. We see Pastry round the outside of Will Lose. And now Sunshine in 13th place. Will Lose in 14th. And a change for the lead between the 2 Red Bulls. Daniel Lorente takes the lead. Who Kid also gets past RFC Riley here. Who Kid making it look easy. Doctor and Nagron once again battling. And there's also another battle involving Sunshine and this midfield pack. And Pastry ahead of Will Lose. Sunshine ahead of the pair of them. But this now 5 seconds behind the top 11 runners. So battling between Daniel Hoyland, and there is Danny going a bit wide, and contact there between Daniel Lorente and the McLaren. I think Daniel Lorente left the session, so taken over by AI, and now that's going to cause problems because R-Web's now going to get past many drivers. Who Kid's going to get past now. So Who Kid, starting from the back, has already passed the pole sitter after disconnecting. So Daniel Lorente dropping back very quickly. And now Daniel Hoyland potentially having a look into Copse. But just will stay behind and wait for the DRS maneuver. Battle for the race lead, Harley and Statlev. Harley in the slipstream of Statlev and is going to look to the inside as Harley into Stowe takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. So the British driver now leads at Silverstone. Statlev relegated to second, the place he started. Harley making the moves and now leads the British Grand Prix. So very tight-knit bunch for the top 8. Riley and Kai not far behind, and they seem to be battling a bit now. Riley just keeping it under control, but Kai is right there. Now Statlev on the Wellington Straight into Brooklands retakes the lead. Harv already picking up a track limits violation. Hookid behind, making moves into 7th. Hookid now moving up 13 places from the start and is already in good contention to try and win this race. Daniel Lorente still disconnected out there, and that is not going to do him any good because as he potentially tries to get back in, Harley is right looking for the race lead. So Statlev in the race lead. Destro picking up the penalty. And yeah, McLaren looking in a very good position in this race. Midfield battle still going on. Will lose. Pastry, Sunshine are just going to be at this all the race. And yeah. And now we see this DRS train, which has been ongoing for quite a while. It'll probably be going on for most of the race unless someone can break away. Statlev with about a half-second advantage, but that will be quickly eroded. Half falling behind. And now there is Harv on the inside of Daniel Hoyland, and he can't make a position. But now there is Daniel Hoyland on the inside of Danny here. They go wheel to wheel in Copse. Daniel Hoyland still holds it and now just sneaks ahead, but they're going to still be wheel to wheel, and they bang wheels, but they still wheel to wheel, and Danny still keeps the position. Daniel Hoyland, they're all queuing up now. This battle's caused a bit of a split, but Daniel Hoyland takes the place. Then goes Harv. There is the championship leader, Hookid, taking 2 positions there, and will maybe even try for more. Into Vale, contact between Hookid and Unknown. And there's Lol getting out of shape. Arweb dropping back. This pack still remains with Harley now the race leader. Riley has retired from the race, so that is a bit peculiar. Riley just going slowly, so just retiring out on track it seems. Harv with the 3-second penalty. Statlev going for the race lead again and gets it. Oh, and there's an opportunistic move from Harv on the inside of Daniel Hoyland. And Harv still is keeping it alongside, and is Daniel Hoyland going to once again be wheel to wheel in Copse? Not on this occasion, but he's got a good run, Harv, but the Ferrari still there in front, and Harv. Sunshine leaving the session, so that might be Sunshine's internet once again tripping out as Arweb and Unknown, they bang wheels, and Arweb stays behind Will Lose and Pastry, wheel to wheel on the Hanger Straight, and we see Sunshine now dropping back a lot with that, obviously disconnection. Statlev still leads. Harv 4th place. This train goes back down to 8th still. Hookid, the championship leader, 26 points ahead of his new teammate Harley. Harley would take some of that at the moment, but that's not necessarily how it's going to end. Hookid, I wonder if Hookid might be struggling with damage out there. Just seems to be dropping back a lot, but might just be, saving up his tires and battery. So who could just staying within that DRS, is low on ERS, so you'll be wanting just to keep within the DRS and charge that at the same time. It's not always easy, but you can certainly do it. And Harley now taking the lead once again on lap 8, and Statlev bailing into the pit lane. So Red Bull deciding that now is the time to bring in the driver who is doing really well so far and get a new change of tyres out there. So, there we go. Statlev getting that new tyres on, and Harv tracking this battle between Daniel Hoyland and Harley, who's going to dive to the inside in kind of a defensive manner there. And Daniel Hoyland reacting to Harv. And is there an opportunity to cut back on the inside? Not quite. Harv will use some ERS again towards Copse. And Daniel Hoyland is going to be forced to burn a little bit as well. And in the end, Harv does have to back off. But Harv with that penalty though, which is going to be annoying for him. And now into Chapel, he's going to have a look to the inside, and now might even have a chance to go for the race lead, as he's got tremendous overspeed. And Harv, but Daniel Hoyland's still there. They go wheel to wheel, and Harv stays behind but gets ahead of Harley, who was the race leader. Hukid now up into 4th. So Hukid just behind his teammate. Little tap there from Harv on Daniel Hoyland into the last corner, onto the Lewis Hamilton straight once again to start lap 10. And now Harley potentially having a look into Village, slight tap again. And now it's always an opportunity to just have a little look to the inside, but it's a risky move to do it there. And Harv now all over the back of Daniel Hoyland, the Mercedes driver. Looking as Daniel Hoyland moves over to the inside, and Daniel Hoyland taking a wide line to try and get the exit, but Harv is going to look all the way around the outside of Lovefield. Can he get the power down? Can he cut back now after having that wider line? And they're now wheel to wheel, and Daniel Hoyland moves over, and Harv make contact as Harley goes into the lead, and Daniel Hoyland now might be swallowed up by the drivers behind. Harv has got ahead eventually, and Harley seems to just let by all these drivers for whatever reason. Harv now leads from Daniel Hoyland. Hukid now looking for a move. Hukid will get past Harv. Can he get past Daniel Hoyland? Still low on ERS. Harley on the inside of Harv. Harley almost got pushed into the pit lane there and dives towards Vale and will go alongside Harv. We'll get a nice little line, and towards Abbey, can't quite make anything of it. Championship leader into 2nd place. And now battling again in the midfield, but we're watching the battle for the race lead. And Statlev setting the fastest lap, obviously on that little bit alternate strategy, as Hukid just managing behind. Daniel Lorente is back into this. No, is he? No, Daniel Lorente last lap 137.9. So don't really know what's going on there. I don't know if he's trying to get back in or what's going on, but we'll keep watching. Hukid just tracking behind, building up that ERS. Daniel Hoyland, not best exit. Hukid in the McLaren has gone from last all the way to 1st. Harv around the outside into Stowe, and these two once again make contact, And that may allow our web to get by as well. Harv made contact there. Harley into the pits for McLaren. And now Harv still there. And now Harley, where is Harley going to come out compared to Statlev, obviously? There's Statlev with that undercut. Harley behind Jonathan. Harv diving to the inside. Once again in battle with Ferrari. The Ferrari-Mercedes battle still keeps going on despite the change of drivers. And then banging wheels, McLaren and Ferrari once again. Change of driver lineup. But they're still at it with battling in the race. So Who Kid, happy to just extend this stint for the current moment. And Who Kid maybe under pressure into Stowe, but not too bothered. So Statlev in 8th place at the moment. Statlev, Harley, quite way back, almost 8 seconds. So Who Kid might be even more, but then will the tyres come back to the championship leader? That's what we're all wondering. Ferrari lead this race 1-2. Can they work together sufficiently to help despite their older tyres? So now Statlev, the net race leader, is out of the pits. Who Kid still on pit exit. Who Kid still on pit exit. Harley is behind Who Kid. Who Kid quite a way behind Statlev, so we'll see, because if this pack battles, Statlev might have a big advantage, but we would rather have fresher tyres, I'm sure. But if you thought track position is the only way that you're going to get this race, then fair enough. Who Kid? Is he going to dare it in Cots? No, just stay behind. We'll get DRS advantage. Detection point just there, I think. So I think he did get it behind. No, that was the detection point. So Who Kid won't get the DRS, I don't think. But he had to make the move, otherwise he's going to lose a lot of time. Harley making the move as well. Harv still staying out there. Who Kid did not get the DRS, but doesn't matter. So now we're going to have to watch Who Kid and Statlev's lap times. Will Who Kid break away from Harley? Will Harley try and help? I mean, I'm sure he will, but is he going to be able to pull along? Are they going to pull each other along? I'm into Statlev. Harv going for the race lead, the actual race lead, but not necessarily the net race lead. I mean, if there's a safety car, then could be the net race lead, but there's not a safety car at this point. So, Harv into the race lead, our web there, and there we go. So, Daniel Hoyland, the one on the softs now, many drivers on the mediums, looking to go to the end. Will Lose still out there. Is the 4th runner who hasn't pitted. Statlev is already ahead. Statlev quite a way ahead of Who Kid, so watch that battle. Arweb making the move again on the Ferrari. So Arweb takes the race lead. Harv now coming into the pits. Arweb potentially looking for a safety car, potentially just looking for mighty quick tyres at the end. We'll have to see. Kai as well. Kai's going to go around the final corner. Kai's not pitting. Statlev obviously will pit. Will Lose with that penalty. Will Lose is coming into the pits. Harv onto the softs. Statlev with about 4 lap older tyres. Who Kid fastest lap from Harley, fastest lap from Unknown or Danny. On the mediums for Mercedes, so there we go, there is the gap. Who Kid, 7.3 seconds to catch Statlev in the remaining 12 laps of this race. More than possible, but a big gap to catch, especially if you're going to have drivers like just trying to overtake and try and get in your way as well. So Harv around the outside on Jonathan. So Harv making the move with those fresh tyres, over half race distance now. And now we see what is Statlev doing. Kid last lap, 0.6 of a second quicker than the effective race leader. But certainly going to need quite a lot of lap time. He is going to, get up. Quite sure 2 laps striking distance. There we go, that's a bit more like it. 9 laps, so it is going to go down to the wire based on the current pace. Kid on the last lap was slower than Statlev, so there we go. That's the current picture. But what role can Harley play in this? I mean, Harley, the new McLaren driver, can Harley help Kid? What will happen now as Statlev catches Kai? Jonathan in the pits for Alpine. Kai will probably be in soon, but I mean, if there is a safety car, then probably racing Pastry there. But Pastry will be ahead. Quite a long pit lane here. Slow pit lane. Safety car, then he'll definitely be ahead and he'll have newer tyres, but everybody will probably come in. So if everybody does come in, he is effectively second place. Arweb does decide that that is enough of those tyres, and so does Kai. So Statlev becomes the race leader now with just the remaining laps to do. 10 laps to go. Kid now breaking away from Harley. Harley still within DRS. Danny tracking behind. ERS management will be critical for these top 2. Just making sure you deploy enough and making sure you deploy it in the right time to make sure that if you do catch, you have enough to pass, or in Statlev's case, if he does catch, then he has enough to defend. But Statlev has this under control. He needs to keep it clean till the end and will likely have it. And now Danny around the outside on the old pit straight before Cops into the podium positions. Can Danny now burn his ERS, get within DRS? Might have just done it there as he crossed the line. Certainly pushing, and he does get DRS, so keeps this train formed for the time being. Harv and Daniel Hoyland battling away, and just Daniel Hoyland having an easy pass really. So Kid certainly gaining on the last lap. Last lap time from Statlev, 29.3. Last lap time from Kid, 29.0. But it's not going to be enough at this point for these drivers. Statlev will now potentially pick up some DRS from his teammate, who unfortunately did disconnect. And that is not the way Daniel Rente wanted this to go. I wonder if that is championship over for him. But certainly still way to go. But we will see. Who could still towing along, these two behind, gaining a decent amount, but there will be a point, I guess, where Statlev's tyres will go off and Hukid's tyres will still be working for a couple of laps, and that is where Hukid will make the difference. I mean, tyre wear is very low at Silverstone in this game, so can't imagine the tyres going off for a while. Certainly gaining 5.8. There is Daniel Llorente's ghosted car again. Nagrom and Destro into Luffield. Destro is ahead. Destro, the driver who did race for Ferrari earlier in the season, but now is in Sauber, racing alongside Charlotte Perkins, who's just having a lonely race at this point in 13th. Harv did just set the fastest lap. Just have a quick little check of the penalty situation. 3 seconds for all of those drivers. And now Nagrom should have another look towards Stowe, but decides against it. Daniel Hoyland around Luffield. Old pit straight. These two looking to get into this battle for second place. Again on the last lap, Hukid did gain, but half a second at that attempt, so half a second a lap, and he's not going to have enough laps. But how will Statlev's tyres do? Check in. We can't check in because he's not even got telemetry enabled. Has anybody got the telemetry enabled? There is Harley's tyres. I mean, we know the age of the tyres, we just don't know the percentage of wear. So there is Daniel Hoyland with the fastest lap for Ferrari. Extra bonus point at this current moment. Daniel Llorente still running, but that is an AI, not actually Daniel Llorente. Nagrom picking up a penalty. There is Harv having a look. And Wellington Straight will provide an overtaking opportunity. And Brooklands is where Harv gets ahead, as these two just inch their way closer to the top four, because their tyres will eventually be going off, and Harv into the gravel. So Harv looking to close the gap, but instead has cost them both about 6. Well, he's cost himself about 8 tenths. Cost him their just gap as a group by about 6 tenths to the cars in front. So that's not ideal. Daniel Hoyland losing time. Harv losing time. Aziz drives in front and getting DRS and just towing each other along is really not ideal. So Harv once again goes by with the 3 seconds. Hukid's gap not really going down by much on this lap at all. Statlev keeping the race under control. It's currently going to take about 13 laps to catch up, as the graphic says at the bottom of the screen. So, current pace, Hukid have to settle for second, but still extend the championship lead over Harley. Statlev would enter the fray, but obviously Statlev's debut race in RFC. Harley has dropped back from this battle for the podium. So Harley in his debut race for McLaren might be defending 4th place, unless he can get back with these two in this DRS train. Unknown doing once again an excellent job, really. Just smooth precision and consistency, really, from what I've seen so far. Daniel Hoyland, once again, will be going past in the background as they just swap over, trying to bridge the gap. Even though they're on different teams, they're both trying to help each other, really. Because you would expect that, really. Nobody wants to be just stuck, going nowhere, and they're almost within the DRS of Harley. This could be an exciting battle for fourth, but it seems as though Batlev has got this race. Jonathan getting past Pastry, and now yellow flag, because that is Nagrom. Is it? Yep, that's Nagrom. Yellow flag deployed. Gilbast with the penalty. Batlev out on his own. Gap is decreasing, but not decreasing fast enough. Just needs to get no track limit penalty, and he should be okay. Make no mistakes, and he should be okay. But crazier things have happened before. And the hang straight. Lap 22, we see all the drivers flooding around in the background through Cops, through Maggots Beckett. Now, there we go. Here is the battle we wanted to see. Daniel Hoyland getting past Harley, diving up the inside. Harley's still there. Harley holds it on the inside. Can Daniel Hoyland get the better exit towards Abbey corner? Daniel Hoyland is got a pace advantage, but can't, or just doesn't want to make the move in an unorthodox place. And Harv getting quite close. Obviously Harv does need a 3-second gap if he wants to take this position. Harv with the cutback into Aintree is going to try to go wheel to wheel with Daniel Hoyland, who's also now going for the move on Harley as Daniel Hoyland takes the position. There goes Harv on Harley. Harley's opening race for McLaren, Harv's opening race for Mercedes. And Harley's still there, but now Harv is going to try to take all of them into Cops, but Daniel Hoyland is in front. Harley and Harv wheel to wheel through Cops. They're not going to give an inch to each other. Harley remains ahead. Daniel Hoyland ahead of both of them. Harv taking an unorthodox line there. Obviously, Harley then getting the place because of that line that Harv had to take. Harley now looking to reclaim fourth place. And Harley has Daniel Hoyland. Harv potentially shaping for a move to the inside of Vale, but thinks against it. And they round club corner, lap 24 to start lap 24, sorry. And Harv now it does just need to charge up now. Who Kid, 3.2 seconds now behind the race leader. And now Lol is having a look here at Harv, who is trying to recharge, but may be put down to 7th place because Lol is on the inside of Aintree, and Lol racing for Aston Martin as a full driver for the first time is looking to finish in the top 6 and will at this point. Daniel Hoyland in 4th. There is Harv now battling forwards despite having to defend. Harley dipping a tyre in the gravel, but is still looking on the offensive. Yeah, you've just got to look forward. You can't look behind now. Most forms of defence are just attack for these guys, but it's the way that they're going to need to race. Who Kid 2.9 seconds behind. The race leader, unknown, just dropping away, but is clear now in the podium battle. Harley looking to the outside. And Harv looking to the inside of both of them. Does get Daniel Hoyland, doesn't quite get Harley. And Harv stays in 5th. Nagrom, one fresh soft, does set the fastest laps. That'll take it away from Ferrari, I believe, who had it before. Half in 5th. Kid not closing the gap enough still. And Harv having a look up the inside of the loop and does get the position against Harley, struggles to get the power down. Harley keeps it on the outside, now he's behind, but Harv with DRS. Daniel Hoyland shaping for a move, and there is Harley behind Lowell, taking a slightly wider line, a line that Lewis Hamilton does like to use, and will now get a good exit towards Copse. But will stay behind for the time being. Webb not far from this battle on much fresher tyres. And Harley is basically bumping Harv along. Harv trying to get as much power into his battery as he can. Harley not a lot of ERS remaining there. Harley doesn't want to make the overtake, obviously, just wants to have the DRS on the last lap. Harley getting out of shape in Stowe. Lowell still tracking all of this battle as we enter the last lap of this race, and Statlev still leads from Kid, who's moved up from 20th place all the way to 2nd in this race. It's been a fabulous performance, but he looks like he's just going to miss out. But this battle for the podium, well, for the spots just below the podium, still goes on. And it's all going to kick off probably on these DRS straights. Lowell just preserving his ERS. Harley doesn't want to make the overtake yet, neither does Daniel Hoyland. Kid 2.1 seconds off. Statlev, who's had a flawless performance really, managing those tyres for a long time here to finish this race, but looks like going to be rewarded with a victory on debut. So this battle is going to kick off, but what we all know is that a driver who didn't even know he was going to race for Red Bull today is going to round the final corner, as there's all battling in the battle for 4th, but Statlev will win the British Grand Prix. Kid in 2nd place from the back of the grid. Harley is just trying to get the power down as Daniel Hoyland bang wheels, and he does get it, but Lowell with a penalty for 20 seconds for cutting a corner. Lowell avoiding all of that, but ending up behind all of them. Webb got Harv at the end because obviously the penalty. Daniel Hoyland taking home 4th, Harley in 5th, Webb in 6th, Harv down in 7th after the penalty, Lowell in 8th, Kai and Will lose wheel to wheel in the last corner. Will lose with the penalty. Kai will still want to finish ahead on track. They lock wheels. Kai takes the place in 9th. Jonathan making it 9 and 10 for Alpine. Will lose with a penalty in 11th. Pastry in 12th. Charlotte Perkins in 13th. Sauber make it 13th and 14th. Doctor Destro into the gravel. Doctor in 15th. Seemed to be sliding a lot throughout any time we saw Doctor on the track. Doctor in 15th. Dilbast will be the last one to cross on the lead lap. And there we go. So, Statman winning on RFC debut. Championship leader Kid extends his championship advantage by beating Harley, his new teammate. New first races for many drivers in their new teams. And that was Statlev showing just what he can do. Statlev with a really good final stint there, really managing it beautifully. Similar pace, most laps, and just under pressure from Hukid. Hukid with the newer tyres got within a decent gap, but just couldn't quite break through. Well then, that is it for the second round of RFC, for the fifth round of RFC. This championship is only going one way at this point, but we'll have to see how it goes from now on, because there's certainly things to be discussed. And there we go. So Malakai extends the championship lead. Next round in the championship, we go next week to Spa, the historic Belgian circuit. So we'll see you then. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.